I'm Lily, a 52-year-old housewife. I graduated from a local high school and have been helping out at the restaurant my mother runs. Originally, it was a restaurant started by Dad and Mom, but since Dad passed away due to illness about 10 years ago, Mom and I have been running it, just the two of us. Though it's a restaurant, it's an old establishment by the highway. Not exactly pretty, but a mainstay for large and medium-sized truck drivers who can't fit into chain restaurants. Surprisingly, it became an internet sensation as a retro restaurant, attracting young customers from time to time. Thanks to this, we're doing fairly well. The bread we use in the restaurant was originally from my grandfather. Thanks to the bread made by my grandfather, who had been in agriculture for 60 years, we were known as the restaurant with delicious bread. As I reached marrying age, relatives started arranging meetings for me, and I had an arranged marriage. I was 25 at the time. His name was Paul, 3 years my senior. He worked in sales. He used to eat lunch or dinner at our restaurant during his rounds in the car. A bit of an oddball, not exactly what you'd call handsome, but he was quiet, serious, and somehow made me want to take care of him. For some reason, Mom liked him, and as we started dating, she began giving him leftovers from the restaurant, sometimes even a free dish, which eventually led to his proposal, and we got married. I was 26 and my husband was 29. After marriage, I continued helping out at the restaurant, and my husband continued his job. The following year, we had a child, a girl, whom we named Chloe. Like me, Chloe, after graduating high school, got her chef's license and began helping out at the restaurant. When my grandfather passed away about 5 years ago, the inheritance went to Mom, his only daughter. Neither Mom nor I could handle farming, so we sold the land and the house and turned it into money. Mom used part of this money to renovate the restaurant, sprucing up the kitchen and the dining area. My husband, who was in vending machine sales, wasn't doing too well and got laid off during a company restructuring. He's currently looking for a job on unemployment insurance, but it's not going well. He occasionally goes out for information gathering, but mostly he's just resting at home. Mom, now over 65, began showing signs of decline, complaining of dizziness and breathlessness at work. Then one day, she suffered a stroke and collapsed. She was rushed to the hospital and fortunately survived, but was left paralyzed and unable to work. I had to manage the restaurant on my own, with Mom incapacitated. My daughter was training in the city, so I hired part-time staff for serving and somehow kept the business going. But honestly, caring for Mom, who could barely move while running the restaurant, was too much for me. That's when my husband suggested, "Why don't I take care of Amelia? With the current situation, it's going to take time to find a new job. The restaurant's doing well, so we can manage without my income, right?" "Well, we're making a decent profit, but caregiving is quite tough." "I can handle personal care. Amelia can still use the bathroom if taken there, and for bathing, she can go to daycare. I can manage caregiving even as a man." "I'll ask Mom, but maybe I should accept your offer?" "All right, it's settled." His eagerness was a bit suspicious, but I thought it would be fine. Hearing about the situation at home, my daughter left her job in Washington and came back to our restaurant, now handling the cooking with me. But my daughter had doubts about my husband taking care of Mom. Is that really all Dad's thinking about? I tilt my head. What do you mean? Well, some customers said they saw someone who looks like Dad in the nightlife district. The nightlife district? You mean behind the station where all those shady shops are? Yeah, that place. According to the customers, there are lots of sketchy shops there. Now that I think about it, he's been unusually particular about his appearance lately, constantly fixing his sparse hair, and he even started buying boxer shorts and trunks himself instead of the usual sale-priced white briefs. Noticing these changes in my husband, I thought I should pay a little more attention. Then, my husband began taking care of Mom. Mom goes to the hospital for rehabilitation 3 times a week, and my husband takes care of the transportation, shopping, and accompanying her on walks. He seriously took care of her, drying the bedding, cleaning the room, and sometimes preparing meals while she was at the appointments. He even started going out occasionally for caregiving courses in Washington, recently staying overnight. One day, Mom called me. I need to ask you for a favor. Is that okay? What's up? Isn't my husband there? What? He's not supposed to come today, right? That's not right. He said he was going today and left. Really? He told me it was twice a week. Well, he told me he goes 4 times a week. Anyway, I need to ask you to do some shopping. Toilet paper and the usual conditioner. Sure, the one Mom always uses. I'll have my daughter drop them off later. Thanks, dear. After the call, I began to wonder. My husband said he visits Mom's place 4 times a week, but she says it's only twice. Considering what my daughter said earlier, I felt I needed to investigate. But how? As I pondered, a regular customer approached me. What's the matter, Lily? You look troubled. Is it your husband's affair? That might actually be a possibility. Yeah, my husband's behavior has been odd lately. I'm a bit worried. You know, I saw him in the nightlife district behind the station. I was delivering to a store nearby. He seemed to be waiting for someone. Do you often go to those stores behind the station? Yeah, I've been there a few times recently for new business dealings. Could you do me a favor? As long as it doesn't interfere with work. If you see my husband around there, could you take a photo of him, secretly, without getting caught? Understood. Thank you. If it works out, I'll treat you to an A-lunch. And add some potato salad? Deal. Business settled. After a while, the guy I asked for help came to the restaurant. Lily, I got it. Though I'm not sure if it's a good thing. Did you get a photo of my husband? Yeah. There was a wait during my delivery time. I casually looked around and saw your husband walking out with a woman. With another woman? Yeah, I got a good photo. He showed me the photo from his mobile phone. It showed my husband and an unfamiliar woman close to him. Another regular customer appearing at the photo said, I know her. That's Ava, from the bar Black Face behind the station. I've been there too. No doubt about it. He told me. She looks cute in the bar,
but this photo makes her look quite older."
Other customers gathered around.
"I think, she said she was 28, but she looks over 30 in this face."
I started talking.
"You guys know her too?" "Yeah, blackface is a popular spot for after parties around there."
So that's how it was. Maybe I need to investigate more. My husband's actions are becoming increasingly suspicious. On a day, the restaurant was closed. My daughter and I visited Mom's house. My husband was out, saying he had to attend a seminar. It seems my husband might be having an affair.
"What?
Dad, but he's over 50. I knew something was off. Both my daughter and Mom seem to have had their suspicions about his behavior. From now on, we'll monitor Dad's actions. I'll keep an eye out too. Right. If he shows any suspicious behavior, we'll teach him a lesson. My daughter and I shared a light laugh. Then, led by the regular who provided the photo, a special investigation team was formed. He seemed quite enthusiastic.
"We're the middle-aged detectives,"
he sang. A nice guy, but a bit unfortunate. The investigation by this middle-aged detective team revealed the following. The woman's name was Ava, 32 years old. She works at the bar Black Face behind the station. My husband meets her about twice a week during the day, having meals and going to karaoke. And shockingly, they were seen entering a hotel.
"Lily, sorry, but looks like Paul's the culprit."
One of the detectives couldn't hold back his laughter. "Hey, be serious, please."
Sorry, it's definitely an affair, but we can't be completely sure yet, can we?"
"Not sure yet."
"It's an amateur investigation. We can't conclude anything for certain. Better to leave the rest to professionals."
Indeed, the final stretch should be left to experts. Everyone has jobs, so it's unlikely they can help further. I returned home, disheartened by the report. "Mom, how did it go?" my daughter asked, concerned. "It's almost certain. I understand it in my head, but it's still shocking." "What are you saying? We can't just leave it at that. It's time to make up your mind." After thinking for a while, I replied, "Yes, you're right. I can't let it go like this. I have to teach him a lesson." "Right, that's the spirit. I'll help too." "Okay, it's a rallying meeting. Chloe, bring some alcohol from the cold storage." "Got it." My daughter brought out the alcohol and we divided it into 2 glasses. "Bottoms up." "All right, let's do this." "Ooh!" We looked at each other and laughed. I also talked to Mom about my husband. "Really? He always seemed so kind and nice." But this is the truth. I don't want to doubt him, but there's evidence. Now that you mention it, he's been talking a lot about money lately. Since the job hunt isn't going well, he's been saying he wants to start his own store. "A store? You mean our restaurant?" "No, I don't think so. He's been talking about starting a cafe or bar, something with jazz music." He does have a lot of records, but I can't really see him in that kind of business. Can you? "And he's been kind of begging for money." "Begging for money?" It's like he's a kid wanting an allowance for doing chores. I almost laughed. But it's no laughing matter. Sorry, ever since I got like this, I want to laugh at even the little things. But where is he getting the money to play around? He shouldn't have that kind of allowance. Speaking of which, A restaurant owner I know asked about some antiques Grandpa collected as a hobby. He wanted to buy them to decorate his restaurant. Ah, we haven't touched the stuff in the storage, have we? It would be helpful to get rid of them, since we're not using them anyway. But according to Grandpa, some of those items are quite valuable. Can't be, right? They're just cheap stuff, aren't they? Maybe so, but could you check it out later? Okay, sure. I went to the storage with the key Mom gave me. Brings back memories. I remembered being locked in here as a child for misbehaving. Huh? It's surprisingly clean. Not much dust. Looking at the floor, there were lots of footprints. They were sandal prints. My husband's sandals that he uses at home. The unique pattern is unmistakable. He's been in here, where Mom mentioned the antiques. There were dust-free spots on the shelf where items seemed to have been removed. These must have been taken out recently. I took some random items from the storage. Mom, did my husband go into the storage recently? No, I don't think he has. Why do you ask? There are lots of footprints inside, and they're from his sandals. Now that you mention it, he did ask about the storage a while ago. Said he wanted to take a look, and I told him where the key was. I see. That explains it. Probably my husband has been taking antiques from there and selling them for play money. I decided to change the locks on the storage and watch what happens. After a while, my husband said, "The key to the family storage has changed, hasn't it?" It has been said, just as I expected. I changed it because the old one was getting too old. Why, is there a problem? No, it's just that storage. It has many interesting things. So I used to peek in when I was free. So, where's the new key? I'm keeping the new key. But do you need it for something? No, not really. Almost makes me want to laugh. He's so suspicious. You seem a bit off today. Kind of restless, aren't you? No, nothing like that. I guess I'll go to see Mom now. He hurried, got ready, and left the house. There goes his source of funds. Serves him right. Caring for Mom requires a fair amount of money. Right now, she's paying for it with her pension. I once asked if it wouldn't be better to move her to a proper facility, given the inheritance from Grandpa. I've heard that before, but Mom said, "It would be disrespectful to Grandpa to waste money at my age. I want to save as much of his money as I can for you kids." She said this with a smile. My husband still seems to be working hard at caregiving, but lately I often see him searching the internet alone or talking on the phone with someone I don't know. If it's about job hunting, that's great, but it seems to be something else. Mom's words about him acting like a child, wanting an allowance, keep echoing in my ears. Mom seems to sense something off too. "I'm going to test something," she says. "Test what?" "Just a little thing." Mom laughed. On a day the restaurant was closed, I visited Mom's house with my husband. We usually drive, but the car was out for inspection, so we went by bike. "Hello, Amelia. How are you feeling? Any pain?" "Hello, dear. I feel quite good today. Hungry, actually." "Should I go buy something? Maybe our usual sweets?" Today I'd like some pudding or cream puffs." "I'll go get them then." My husband went out to shop. It's rare for Mom to want such sweets. "It's okay. Those are sold near the station, not close by." He went by bike to the station? Yeah, it might start raining soon. What? It's okay, just testing his loyalty. Soon, it started to rain. Of course, my husband had no rain gear. After a while, I heard the sound of a bike brake, and he returned soaking wet.
What a mess. Got caught in the rain.
Oh, thank you for your hard work. It must have been tough.
Yes, but it's nothing for Amelia.
He handed over the Western sweets he bought. Thank you. Oh, these are just cream. I wanted the ones with custard topped with whipped cream.
Really? But the station's pastry shop only had these.
There are some along the highway, a bit far though.
What? That's like a 30-minute bike ride.
But I want to eat them. Please.
Okay, I'll go.
Clearly tired, he went out again in the rain. Mom, isn't the highway store closed today? I asked. I knew that. She sticks out her tongue and laughs. After searching in the rain for 2 hours, Paul finally found cream puffs with whipped cream.
Amelia, that store was closed, so I had to go to the next town to find these.
Really? You're so kind. I'm starting to think of you as my own son.
If you think of me that way, I'm honored. I consider you my real mom.
Then I'll spoil you like a real son.
I'm happy, Amelia.
He was soaking wet, but smiling happily. Mom and I enjoyed the cream puffs, while my husband, moved by Mom's praise, didn't eat and looked like he was about to cry. I had hired a detective agency to investigate my husband's actions. It turns out his affair is certain, but he's also been doing other things like getting a passport and contacting overseas real estate agents. His behavior is becoming increasingly suspicious. His recent talk is blatant, Mom says with a puzzled look. Blatant? Like asking how much cash is in my inheritance, saying the antiques in the storage could be worth a lot, and that now's the time to sell the land as its value is rising. That sounds like he's after your inheritance. Seems so. That explains his recent suspicious actions. What actions? He made a passport and received mail from overseas real estate companies. What is he thinking? Well, it's definitely no good. As we were talking, my husband returned and started cooking. Unnoticed by him, I hid in the next room.
I'm sorry I'm late, Amelia. Dinner's ready. I made fish today.
Thank you as always. But recently, Paul, you've been unusually attentive. It's strange, but appreciated.
As Lily's mom, it's natural for a child to take care of their parent.
A child taking care of their parent, huh?
Yes, think of me as your real son.
My real son. Huh.
Yes, your son.
Is that because you're after my inheritance?
What? No, I care for you purely, Amelia.
I stepped out then. Really, now?
Lily, why are you here?
Well, it's not strange for a daughter to be at her own home, is it?
That's true, but...
So, are you caring for Mom just to take her inheritance?
What are you saying? I am her son-in-law, so taking care of her is natural. There's nothing suspicious about it.
Then what's this? I showed him the overseas real estate pamphlet.
This is...
Planning to use Mom's inheritance to run away overseas with your mistress?
I'm not having an affair. The real estate thing was sent to me unsolicited.
Really? But don't you have to request information to get this?
I was thinking of a warm place down south for Amelia's future.
Quite the liar, aren't you?
Ugh, it's not a lie.
Just then, sorry to keep you waiting. Got the documents from the detective agency. My daughter arrived with perfect timing. Oops, did I come too late? No, perfect timing. Just like my daughter. I spread the documents in front of my husband. So, suspect Paul, what's all this about? Photos and conversation recordings from the detective agency. Isn't this Ava from Blackface Bar behind the station? What does this conversation say?
Finally going to get the inheritance, then we'll buy a house in Southeast Asia and live a life of luxury. Found a great property.
Oh, how lovely. I love you.
I love you too.
You never said such things to me. I read the lines with dramatic flair. Quite the actress, aren't I? Mom, you're a natural. Were you in the drama club? My daughter applauded. My husband, out of excuses, slumped down. I looked down at my husband. What are you going to do about all this? I demanded. Mom, sensing victory. It's checkout time. Grandma, you mean checkmate. My daughter corrected. First things first. Leave our house. It's in my name. I'll talk to the lawyer about the divorce and decide on alimony and property division. I delivered the final blow to my crestfallen husband. I am disillusioned with you, Dad. I'll focus on the restaurant and taking care of Mom. Goodbye. Disowned by my daughter, my husband left like a knocked-out boxer. The lawyer handled the divorce, getting alimony from him and his mistress and sorting out property division. As promised, I treated the regular customer to an A lunch and celebrated. Turns out my husband had almost no money, was ditched by his mistress, and is now chased by debts, working as a day laborer at a construction site. His dreams of a luxurious life abroad turned into sweat and labor in rural America. No sympathy from me. I'm done with marriage and now focus on the restaurant and Mom's care. On our urging, Mom moved into a full-care nursing home. Being sociable, she quickly made friends and seems to be enjoying herself. The biggest change was in my daughter. She got married. She was secretly dating one of our regulars and recently decided to wed. We fully supported her. He quit his job to help at our restaurant, learning cooking from us every day. Mom, happy about the marriage, plans to give them a house. Despite the pandemic's impact, everything is moving in a good direction. Watching my daughter and her husband, I can't help but smile. Looks like I'll be a grandma soon.